don't give a fuck.
I need to get back on my PlayStation, but I just haven't been on it in a while.
Well, speaking of PlayStation, E3 happened, and this is a special E3 episode of XPlicit Materia, and I have some explicit things to say, especially about Sony.
Yeah, you want some VR stuff going on?
You know what? I don't even want to talk about VR because I'm just never gonna get it. I'm just never.
Sony
going
wanted to talk about
buy.
it.
Oh yeah, of course, because they want to put all their eggs in the VR basket, and apparently the Star Trek Commander demo went over really well.
Yeah.
And I didn't see the demo, but I heard about it, and that's the only thing I heard about as far as VR. And honestly, E3 this year, according to a lot of the pundits I've been listening to on podcasts, have been kind of like.
It wasn't
kind of not that good. It's just basically showing trailers
on a lot of stuff we've already seen,
and a lot of stuff, especially on the Sony's end, because Sony's end they showed Days Gone.
Yeah,
they showed Spider-Man. They announced Spider-Man last year, didn't they?
I don't know if they showed anything. I could be wrong. I don't know if they did, but they may have we're doing Spider-Man, but showed a picture or something. I don't know.
I mean, Days Gone looks fucking awesome.
I think both of them look good. Spider-Man looks good. Days Gone looks good. But. Not much else.
Groundbreaking. Nothing's
Shadow of Colossus. I hate to go on remakes. I know they're done all the time, but Shadow of Colossus.
A lot of people are actually really excited about that.
Yeah.
And I've actually never got into Shadow of Colossus.
It's a fun
I remember
game.
renting it a long time ago and then just never getting into it. I'm I got turned off by what language is this guy speaking? I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's very you're kind of just in it. You know what I mean? You just go. It's kind of a take a break game. You know what I mean?
Well, that studio that does all those games, they do it in a very artistic style.
Very much so.
The Last Guardian was.
I did not play The Last Guardian.
Was a lot of great reception on that game.
Yeah,
and that came out pretty much the same time Final Fantasy 15 came out, which is interesting. But that E3 last year was great. And back to my point of E3 being a dud. And this is something that I wanted to talk about Sony. And this actually was something that was said on I think in the ground floor somewhere. Someone was giving an interview to Sony's exec, Sony's head of marketing, I think his name was. And I'm trying to find it right here. Two things I want to talk about Sony. Now, we all remember in 2013 when Xbox One was coming out, and they had all those DRM issues where they said they were going to go forward to cloud-based gaming,
and the community was
no more physical discs, and people went, "What? You are fucking crazy!" And Sony pounced on it, and Sony said, "We're for the gamers, we're for the community, we're supporting independent." Games and
you can have offline play. You don't have to stay be online.
Right, they jumped on it and they were just all for the gamers, and people fell for it because people want to love Sony, and Sony has been kicking ass lately as far as selling consoles, and now they're getting cocky, and they're getting cocky with these two things. Number one, backwards compatibility.
Yeah.
This guy, I think his name is Jim Ryan, and I'm sure it's not his fault because he's the talking head.
Yeah, doing his job.
He's just doing his job. So I'm not going to say that he needs to be fired. Not going to go that far. But what I am going to say is that Sony needs to change their tone because they're getting a little cocky. And this is what he said about backwards compatibility. He said, "When we've dabbled with backwards compatibility, I can say it is one of those features that is much requested, but not actually used much. That, and I was at a Gran Turismo event recently where they had PS1, PS2, PS3, and PS4 games, and the PS1 and PS2 games, they looked ancient. Why would anybody play this?"
I mean, I bought a PS3 just to play NCAA football. Fuck you on backwards compatibility. Let me play my game. You haven't made another one. I don't even talk about EA unless they're talking NCAA.
I mean, it's just... Bro, don't you realize that there's a retro community out there that loves these games? Why? And you just throw them a bone.
It's I have all these games in my collection. It's I'm not going to unplug my PS4, plug in my old PlayStation, and play, Suikoden.
Right.
I'm not going to do that.
And part of me thinks the reason why they did it is because they want to make more money by re-releasing the games so that people can re-download them. But that's such a shitty fucking business, big business.
It's all
fucking
about the
thing
money,
to
man.
do.
It's all
You know,
about
I'm
the
just
money.
like, but then you can't say you're not for the gamers because you're not for the gamers.
No.
You're for yourself. And I understand it's a business and you got to protect your
Well,
bottom
they had
line.
to come out with something to say something. You know, they can't just be like, we want more money, so we're not going to do that.
But wouldn't it be like kind of refreshing if some fucking big exec was like, guess what? It's about money.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, cool. I support you.
Or not. Maybe
Yeah, or
that
not.
would probably be a bad PR
But at least they're
move.
upfront about it. Like, I hate what you're doing, but at least you have the balls to say it.
Yeah, it's just like, it's kind of just like, I don't know, it's kind of two-faced when you're, 1 year you're like, we're for the gamers and for the community, and then you give a firm backhand to all the retro gamers by saying, like, why would anyone play this? Mm-hmm. I was like, it probably was just a faux pas, and he was probably put on the spot, but at the same time, it's like, that's, he's saying it right there, is that Sony they don't care about backwards compatibility, and until, like, the community is like, fuck you, Sony, we'll go with Xbox One, then Sony's just not going to change their tune because they're at this point too cocky. So there's that.
What's your second one?
My second one is at E3. Crossplay, like cross-platform play between
Xbox, PC.
the Nintendo Switch.
Mm-hmm.
This is from Eurogamer, and so, from what I gather, Xbox One has been very open with its cross-platform play as far as, like, we're open for our games to cross-platform with Nintendo Switch or PC or PlayStation. So, balls in their court. And the Sony basically said, nah, fuck y'all.
We're not doing that.
We're not doing that because we're Sony.
I mean, Xbox did have a lot of exclusives this E3. Like, almost half of everything.
Timed exclusives. Let's slow down.
Yeah, but it was exclusive. Exclusive.
I don't think there's no such thing as exclusive anymore. And if
Thank God.
Sony has the leg up on some exclusives, like Days Gone, to my knowledge, is only going to be PS4.
And I don't know if the new Last of Us.
was.
I know
the
the original was PS4 only. I don't know about the new one.
I can't imagine it wouldn't be.
Yeah,
Why would they? Because if they're putting their head in the sand about this, or not head in the sand, but their feet in the sand about this, I mean, what's to stop them from doing it even further with one of the biggest games that's ever come out? It's Last of Us.
And then I think Red Dead is on both.
Red Dead is on both for sure.
Yeah. Which I wish they would have showed something on that.
I know, man. I was missing some Red Dead. But back to what I was saying about this cross-platform.
No more cross-platform.
I mean, yeah, basically. Let's see.
They comment on it?
Okay, here we go. Jim Ryan again. Our favorite person, Jim Ryan.
Not saying he should be fired.
Not saying he should be fired, but man, is he put in a weird position. Sorry, Jim Ryan. You're going to be the scapegoat for this podcast.
It's just PR.
You're just doing your job, man. I get it. It's all right. Who asked him this? I believe it was, I forget who asked him, who was interviewing him. But this was the question. Minecraft works cross-platform between Switch, Xbox, and PC. Today, Rocket League was announced as working cross-platform between Switch, Xbox, and PC. Both don't work cross-platform with PlayStation. Now, is this Sony not playing ball? What is actually going on here? Jim Ryan. It's certainly not a profound philosophical stance we have against this. We've done it in the past. We've always opened the conversations with any developer or publisher who wants to talk about it. Unfortunately, it is a commercial discussion between ourselves and other stakeholders, and I'm not going to get into detail on that on this particular instance. Ooh. And I can see your eyes rolling. Astute Jim Ryan is. Back to this interviewer, he says, or she, well, you must see that PlayStation owners are upset. They want to play with Switch owners, PC owners, and Xbox One owners for these two big, important games, and they don't have an explanation for why. That's what I'm getting at. Jim Ryan, yeah, We've got to be mindful. I'm having a slight better, like, dumb tone for Jim Ryan. I apologize.
A little better than thou.
I'm practicing my acting, all right? Well, yeah, we've got to be mindful of our responsibility for our install base. Minecraft, the demographic playing that, you know as well as I do, it's all ages, but it's also very young. We have a contract with the people who go online with us that we look after them, and they are within the PlayStation curated universe. Exposing what in many cases are children to external influences we have no ability to manage or look after. It's something we have to think about very carefully. So basically they're trying to say it's all for the children. It's to protect the children.
Yeah, they don't have parents, by the way.
And God,
apparently.
I love this interviewer. I need to figure out who this is. But they right back at him. They go, it doesn't seem to be a problem for Nintendo, perhaps the most mindful video game company of the protection of children. Damn!
Dude, right in his face.
Right in his fucking face. Yeah, I can just see him just like backpedal.
He's like, why did he have to say this? Like, oh shit.
He's like, yeah, that's true. Everybody has to take their own decisions. We'll do that. Like I say, we have no philosophical stance against crossplay at all, but you do.
It's like, you totally do. Like, you just said you did, but you didn't say it.
To finish up, so interviewer says, "Is this a done deal? Are you leaving the door open, perhaps?" And he goes, Jim Ryan, "I don't think anything is ever a done deal. Anybody who is dogmatic in that manner is typically a fool. That said, to my knowledge, there's no live conversation ongoing at the moment." So
they're not actively pursuing cross-platform right now.
Right.
That's pretty much what he said.
Yeah. Because I guess the reasoning being is that by doing that, you're forcing a group of players, if they're a group of friends, like, hey, I'm going to get a PlayStation, you should get a PlayStation too, so we could play Minecraft together.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like, I know people that play Xbox only, and I can't play with them now.
Right.
I don't play Minecraft. But if I did...
Or any online game. I mean, that's what kind of sucks about this whole, like, cross-platform, fucking nonsense, because I have friends who all bought Xbox Ones. They're Xbox fanboys. And, that's fine. Whatever, just that's your preferred system. Yeah. That's what you want to do. And I couldn't play The Division with them. I never bought The Division eventually because of that very reason. Because I couldn't play online with them. That was the only reason why I wanted to get that game.
And you're not going to spend the money to buy a new system just to play that one game.
Right. I don't play online anyway. So the only reason why I want to do it would be to play with my friends. And I can't do it, so I'm, here I am. So in essence, this whole cross-platform thing is actually stopping Sony from getting more money from me. Mm-hmm. Because I would love to play with my friends. I would buy that game if I could play with my friends. But since you guys are being little bitches about the cross-platform play,
I'm just not going to buy the game. It's ridiculous. But, I mean, they're going to do it until the community says, all right, enough is enough. I mean, that's just a simple fact.
Yeah. Well, okay. So this is a official call out to all Sony PlayStation owners.
Get on the Twitter sphere.
Get on the Twitter sphere and just hammer them down. That's the only way it's going to work. Mm-hmm. Like, this the only, like, because social media has to actually work for some good in this fucking world.
Well, you saw...